Harvard students have everything. Elite professors, billion-dollar libraries, genius classmates. You have YouTube, Google, and free time. So why are they still ahead? It's not intelligence, it's not talent, and it's definitely not motivation. Most people think Harvard students wake up at 5 a.m., grind nonstop, and study 12 hours a day. Wrong. Their routine is completely different. And once you see it, you'll realize you've been doing everything backwards your whole life. I'm about to break down their real daily system. Not the romantic version, the actual one. By the end of this, you won't just study differently. You'll think differently. Chapter 1. Controlled Chaos. Most people think top students follow perfect schedules, color-coded calendars, every hour planned. Wrong. Harvard students operate in chaos, but controlled chaos. Here's what average people do. They try to plan everything. 8 a.m. study, 9 a.m. review. 10 a.m. break, looks productive. Feels organized, but it fails. Why? Because your brain hates rigid systems. A study from the University of California found that forced scheduling increases mental fatigue faster than flexible task switching. Your brain gets bored, then it escapes. That's why you open your phone, just for a second. Now here's what Harvard students do instead. They batch intensity, not time. Instead of saying study for 2 hours, they say finish this problem set. Understand this concept, master this idea. No fixed time, only outcomes. Sometimes it takes 30 minutes, sometimes 3 hours, but they don't stop until it clicks. That's the difference. Average people measure time. Elite students measure understanding. But here's the problem though. You can work intensely for hours and still forget everything tomorrow. That's where the second system comes in. Chapter 2. Weaponized Pressure. Most people think Harvard students are relaxed, smart enough to handle everything easily. Wrong. They're under constant pressure. And that pressure is exactly why they learn faster. Psychologist Robert Bjork calls this desirable difficulty. When something feels hard, your brain pays attention. When it feels easy, your brain ignores it. Now look at your routine. You reread notes, highlight text, watch lectures again. Feels smooth, comfortable, easy, completely useless. That's called the illusion of competence. You recognize the material. So you think you know it, but you don't. Harvard students avoid this trap. They test constantly, cold calling in class, surprise quizzes, peer questioning. You're sitting there, professor calls your name. You have to explain the concept. No notes, no warning. You either know it or you don't. And that pressure rewires your brain. A study from Make It Stick showed that active recall improves. Retention by over 50% compared to passive review. That's not small. That's a completely different brain. Harvard students don't study to feel good. They study to survive embarrassment. Sounds harsh, but it works. Now you've got pressure. You've got real learning. But here's the problem, though. Even if you learn it today, you'll forget it next week, unless you fix this. Chapter 3. The Invisible Algorithm. Most people think memory is about repetition. Read it again, review it again, repeat. Wrong. Your brain deletes information on purpose. Hermann Ebbinghaus proved this over 100 years ago. It's called the forgetting curve, and it's brutal. You lose most of what you learn within days. So what do Harvard students do? They don't fight forgetting. They schedule around it. Spaced repetition. They review information at precise intervals, right before it disappears. Not too early, not too late. Exactly when your brain is about to drop it. That's when memory locks in permanently. Tools like Anki automate this. Flashcards appear at the perfect moment. You struggle to recall. That struggle tells your brain, this matters. Keep it. Now compare that to your method. You cram before exams, then forget everything after. You're not learning. You're renting information. Harvard students, they own it. But here's the thing, though. Even with perfect memory, most people still waste time. Learning too much. Too many sources. Too many notes. That's where the final system comes in. Chapter 4. Extreme Filtering. Most people think Harvard students read everything. Every book, every paper, every page. Wrong. They ignore most of it, aggressively. Because they understand one thing. Not all information is equal. Cal Newport talks about this in Deep Work. Focus on what actually moves the needle. Ignore the rest. Harvard students don't try to learn everything. They hunt for leverage. The 20% that gives 80% of results. Example. In economics, instead of memorizing 200 models, they master 5 core frameworks. Supply and demand, opportunity cost, game theory basics. Everything else builds on that. They compress complexity, just like surgeons use illness scripts. Thousands of data points, condensed into a few patterns. That's how they move fast. You're trying to carry everything at once. They're zip-filing knowledge. But here's the problem, though. You now know their systems. Controlled chaos, pressure-based learning, spaced repetition, extreme filtering. Sounds powerful. But most people will do nothing with this. They'll watch this video, feel motivated, then go back to scrolling. Because the real problem isn't knowledge, it's execution. That's why I made another video breaking down exactly how to eliminate distractions and force deep focus in under 48 hours. Because if you're still addicted to your phone, none of this matters. Watch that next.